Liv and Danielle, they're back.
They're back.
They say they have some tea. So
Liv and Danielle.
It's not really tea as much as it's just a really entertaining story.
we like that.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Tell us.
Okay, so it all started Super Bowl when it was in Minneapolis, and a friend of mine reached out. He owns Bounce in New York City, and he was like, "Do you want to come work a pop-up event in Minneapolis, like while Super Bowl's going on?"
Now, for anyone that doesn't know, Liv and Danielle are bottle girls.
Yes.
Bottle girls.
Okay.
Adult babysitter.
The
Yeah.
bottle girl. Yes.
I got a new brand for y'all. I got a new brand y'all need to promote.
What?
It's called V1. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. We're gonna have a tasting test here or something like that. But
V1?
yeah,
Is it
it's a new
liquor?
vodka.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a new vodka
Oh.
brand. It's fresh. And there's a business opportunity because I bring the money. I don't mess around. We're just not gonna be tasting and testing. We're gonna figure out how to make some money.
That's awesome.
So he like reaches out, and I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to bring my friend, so she's gonna work too." And he's like, "Okay." So these are girls from like their club in New York that they work at, and they brought a bunch of girls from like I think Marquee or XS in Vegas. And then Danielle and I. So we're just like, we end up actually knowing, I know two of the girls on the trip from Vegas. So like, they're girlfriends of mine from back home.
And I know nobody.
Yeah. But I was working at the time for BMW. So I was like, Danielle, you have to go a day early without me because I have to finish up like some meetings. And then I'll meet you there like a day early. And she's like, so I have to spend the whole day by myself. I'm like, yeah. So I like linked her and my friend Gail and Claire. And I was like, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So the first night, Danielle's there alone.
I'm there alone. So I'm like, I fly in and they're having just this awful weather. What was it, like -3?
It was like 1 degree when I landed.
It was so bad.
cold.
It was
Oh, in
so cold in
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. So I land and I jump in my Uber and I get to the address they gave me. And so I tell the guy, he's like, what city are you going to? I'm like, I'm actually going to, what was the city's name?
Maplewood.
Maplewood. And he goes, oh. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And he's like, alone? I'm like, no, I have a friend. So we like get there and it's called the Emerald Inn.
No.
And it is...
Yeah. It's a legit
sketchy.
crack
It's
motel.
like a crack motel, like where you like would bring like a hooker for like an hour.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hey.
The doors open up and the guy is standing behind the desk and I'm like checking in and he's like, okay, cool. And I was like, do you need like a credit card or anything? He's like, no.
Just
Like
your
didn't
name.
even take my ID or my credit card. No, nothing. Hands me a key. So I go in the room. And it is, I don't even know. There's like a microwave.
There's
on
like a
top
little
of this
desk.
and there's like this rolling chair in the corner and the 2 beds. And then he told me the room service. He gave me a Domino's pizza card and he was like, this is the room service. I'm like, okay, great. So I'm like wandering around this room. There's like the ceiling tiles in the bathroom are like molded.
Oh my God.
It's like
so
that
bad.
old popcorn ceiling
Yeah.
too. So
Oh.
it's like just nasty.
It's just not good. So anyways, I call Olivia. I'm like, Olivia, this is awful, but we're going to make the best of it. We're going to have fun, whatever. We'll get some wine. It's going to be great. So she links me up with her friend, Gail. And Gail's like, she's cool. She's really cool. And she's like, hey,
She's a twin. So her and her twin sister were both there.
she's like, hey, you might not be interested in it, but we're going to this concert tonight. If you want to come, I know you don't know anybody. I'm like, okay. It's Marilyn Manson, by the way. So we're sitting in like the DJ light booth of this Marilyn Manson concert where I know nobody, just having the best time. So then the next day, Olivia flies in.
And we have a training. And it's literally like, it's like the most unorganized meeting of all time. Like we're in this huge venue, like it's kind of like House of Blues style. So it's like pretty big. It's 2 floors. And like we're only working there for 2 nights, so like nobody really cares that much. Like nobody's paying attention. Like all you have to know is just look at the menu and take the credit card. So we're just sitting there all day, like training, and then they have like this bus that they shuttle us around in, so we don't have to like get Ubers because like the venue to the Emerald Inn was like like 2 miles. So they like bust us around in this little shuttle bus. So the first night I come in after training, we're going to go out because we're going to go to the Tao party. So we have to Uber all the way into like Minneapolis, which is like 35, 40 minutes. And it's like snowy. It's 1 degree. Like it's freezing. Okay. So we're trekking out in the snow. So we get to the party and Danielle You know one of the owners of Tao.
So I know one of the owners of Tao, and it was like their official party. So everybody that was there was like a celebrity, an athlete. I mean, everybody was a somebody. And then here comes me and Olivia. And I'm texting my friend. I'm like, hey, we're here. So like he comes out and gets us. We get in. It's like, I mean, how many security points did we have to go through?
Oh, there was like 4 or 5, like full ID check, bag check, another bag check, another ID check, list check. Like it was crazy. And I'm like, this is Minneapolis.
So we get to the table and me and Olivia are just kind of like hanging out. And then this guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, my client likes you. And I'm like, okay. That's kind of just, what do you mean your client? And he's like, well, I'm like a celebrity chef. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay. He's like, he wants you guys to come to his suite for Super Bowl.
Like to watch the game because we didn't have to work. So we're like, oh, we'll change our flight.
Meanwhile, it's a full club. So there's a DJ. I mean, it's loud. And I'm standing the closest to him. And then Olivia's kind of like right here. So I can hear what he's saying. She can't really, but can. So I was like, well, who's your client? Like, that's really weird. Like, do we know him? And he was like, probably his name is Jimmy Butler. And I'm like, oh, I don't know him. Olivia's like, oh my God.
Who is that?
And so I was
Jimmy
like,
B, he's killing it.
And I'm like looking at Olivia and she is celebrating. And
I'm like, fuck yes. Oh my God, this is going to be epic.
She's like, I got to call my dad and tell him, wait. Hey, what was the guy? Was his name Eric?
I think it was, I don't know. We were calling him Chef. We're like, Chef.
Chef.
I was like, is there going to be a margarita machine?
And so he goes,
and he's like,
what? And Olivia's like, I got to tell my dad I'm going to watch the Super Bowl with the margarita guy. Is there going to be a margarita machine? So the chef's like so confused. He's like, do you want we can bring one in.
We could get it for you.
Whatever
and I'm
you
like,
want.
well, like, why wouldn't he have one? Like, that's his whole thing, you know?
Yeah. And so then fast forward. So Jimmy Butler actually comes up. Like now he's like in, like,
I find out it's actually not the Margaritaville man.
Yeah, so
it's actually a basketball player, to unbeknownst to us.
Yeah,
I know.
I had no idea.
I had no clue. I don't even watch basketball.
So it was just a really fun night. We had a blast. What happened after that?
Okay, so but at the party, so we like we're at the middle table, and it's like Rick Ross is performing. Okay, so on stage I see Terrell Owens. Okay, and I used to wait on him in Scottsdale, so I had his number, and I was like, I wonder if his number is still the same. So I text him, and I'm like,
you're like, I see you.
And I'm like, Danielle, watch. And I see him pull out a phone out of his pocket. He looks, and now he's like doing this. He's like, where is she? He's like looking all over, and I'm like, we're hiding. He's like walking across the stage, and we're just dying laughing. Then we get another like tap on our shoulder, and it's Chris Humphries,
which
Kim Kardashian's ex-husband.
Oh my gosh!
Because he lives in Minneapolis. He played for whatever team, I guess.
Random.
Yeah. So we end up just like hanging out there all night. And then so club was like open till 4, I guess. And then we were like, okay, well, we have to go back to Maplewood. So before we really had to go to the bathroom, and it's a long drive.
Well, we thought we were going to go to the strip club.
Yes.
But turns out the strip club ended up closing at like 4.
Yeah. So we thought it was going to be open till like 6. But no, it was 4.
So we were like, we'll just go pee at the strip club. It's like right up the street. Well, no, closed. So we're like, shit, it's like a 40-minute ride. I was like, Olivia, I've got to pee. And she's like, there's a bar right there. Let's just pop in.
Yeah, there was people in there, like a few people. There was like maybe 10 people in there.
And so we like barge in, and he's like, we're closed. And I was like, can I just use your bathroom, please? And he's like, no, we're closed. I was like, I will buy everybody in this place a shot if you let me use the bathroom. And they're like cheering us on. They're like, yeah, let her use the bathroom. So we go in and we use the bathroom, and
we're there for like another 2 hours.
Oh my
God.
Hanging out with these
just
locals.
The workers, like the local people, and like we're buying the drinks, and we're like get our tab, and we're like, fuck, it's gonna be like $300. It was $36 to buy everyone a shot in the bar. 36. I'm like, get another one. So
that's awesome.
We trek back and to Maplewood, and Gail actually comes down to our room, and she goes, "Is this your room?" And we're like, "Yeah." And she goes, "It's so nice compared
She's like,
to
how'd you get an upgrade? Who do you know?
Who do you know
what
here?
Does your room look like?
But we get back and we walk into the lobby of the Emerald Inn, and there's like a whole like hooker fight
Full
going
blown,
on in
two
the lobby,
hookers.
and the desk guy rolled himself underneath the desk and is just has the corded phone, like trying to call the cops. You just see like the cord coming up from under the desk. Like, are you okay? He's like, no, they're scaring me. And they were like a full on hooker fight, like real life. And I was like, okay, we need to like triple lock our shit, you know? So we
Bypass it.
Yeah, we go to bed the next day, and this is now our first day of work. Okay. And
Wait, you're missing. So there was
What?
another girl that was there that we knew. Do you remember that?
oh yes.
So at the Tao party the same night, this is a girl we knew, and she like
From Dallas.
She's from Dallas. She gets on social media and she's like, "Oh my god, just hanging out with P Diddy and hanging out with Rick Ross." Well, meanwhile, we saw her at
the bar.
party,
What?
and she
Yeah.
wasn't like.
So she's lying.
She was at the bar, and we're like, "Hey, come with us to a table." She's like, "No, we're
She's
gonna
like,
hang out
"No,
at the
we're gonna hang out
bar."
at the bar, and which is fine, but it was just so.
It was
like-
funny to see the next day. She was like, "Oh, I was like hanging out with all these people." We're
Yeah,
like,
and
"You
then-
were at the bar."
And then she's like basically saying that she was like at the table, like smoking weed with P Diddy, right?
Oh my
Which is a
gosh.
complete lie. We were literally there. So then she's like, and I can't say who, but it's Kim Kardashian's ex-husband's like hitting me up. Well, meanwhile, me and Olivia are FaceTiming him because he's a friend of mine.
And we're like, "Did you hang out with this girl?" He goes, "I've never seen that girl in my life."
yeah, and meanwhile he's playing video games, like just lounged back in his house. And so just the whole thing was just fabricated and very entertaining.
Yeah. So that was night one. Well,
That's
night
night
two
one.
for you. So then now we are going into our first day of work. Okay. And we have Cardi B performing. So me and Danielle are upstairs, and we have like Red Bull, like all the Red Bull execs, and like some football player, and like just a couple random tables. Okay.
But to be honest, we don't recognize a lot of them.
I don't recognize anybody. I'm the worst.
So we,
including
yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
bad.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
So we're upstairs, so we can kind of oversee everything, right? So it's like House
Oh,
of
you missed
Blues.
the paper we had to sign about the rules. Remember, no fighting.
Oh yeah, there's a couple rules. No fighting.
No fighting.
It said for drinking and drug. It said if you can't be an adult, don't do it. That was literally what it said in the paperwork. And then it was like
Can't remember something else.
something stupid, like be on time or something lame. So we're like, okay. So we signed these papers. So we all of a sudden Cardi B comes on, and like you can see everybody's like not paying attention to Cardi B. And like
Right.
the whole reason they're at this club is because she's the performer. And we're like, what the fuck is going on?
So meanwhile, one of the other cocktail waitresses says, "Oh my God, Odell Beckham Jr. I'm a Giants fan, so I know that name." So I was like, okay, I know that person. Apparently, he has a table downstairs, and like these two girls are like kind of like verbally like arguing about who is going to take care of him. So I tell Olivia, we go on about our business anyway.
So Cardi B comes on, and all of a sudden, nobody's watching Cardi B. Everybody's like turned this way, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So we look over the balcony, and these two girls, you see this one run and straight up jump over the couch into the other section and just start wailing on her coworker. And these girls like actually work together, like back home.
I think
And
they were from New York.
Yeah, they were from New York, and they were just full on fist fighting over Odell Beckham Jr.'s table. And I'm like, "Oh my god, like, what the
front
fuck
row
is going
seats.
on?"
We had the balcony. We
Yeah,
were
like
just
forget
watching.
Cardi B. This is so good. So that was
Did
the
you
night.
videotape it?
No, because we weren't allowed to have our
Yeah.
phones.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one of the rules.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one. But anyways, yeah. So that when we did like our end of the night kind of like sit down, they were like, "Girls, I can't preface it enough. No fighting each other. Like I can't believe we even have to talk about this."
Yeah, like it's not that big of a deal. Like just try not to fight your coworker.
It's
physically.
Okay, so that's night.
That was
That's
first night
technically
of
one-
work.
yeah, night
okay,
one.
So what year are we talking? When is
Oh.
this?
this was
20
2017 or
Yeah,
2018.
18.
One of the two. Whenever it was in Minneapolis. And so then the next day, it's like really cold and it's full on snowing, like a blizzard. So we're like having our bus take us to Chili's to sit there all day.
Oh my God, you forgot about Russian Andre.
Oh, we did make a friend, our security guard. Our security guard, Russian Andre, and he literally is wearing one of those Russian caps, like the fur caps, and he like barely speaks any English.
He's like 7 foot tall.
Yes, and he's like 50 years old, and he's just like running around town with us, just hanging out. Like people in Maplewood were looking at us like we were absolutely.
Well,
out
what
of
were the
our
options?
mind.
It was like Chili's, Applebee's.
Taco
gosh.
Bell, and then
Like
they
an
had a
IHOP.
mall. Oh, they had a mall.
Oh, the strip mall.
So we had to share this bus with everyone that was working with us, right? So you had to like call the bus driver and then he would drive you around. But like, there's a few places you could go around there. So the bus driver is like, yeah, I'll come. We're like, we want to go to Chili's with Andre, the Russian man. So, and that weird guy, John.
Yeah, I
That
don't
little
even remember
midget
him.
guy. And so we took he's like, I'll be there in like 20 minutes. I have to pick a girl up from the mall. She's getting a tattoo. I'm like, at the mall
In Maplewood?
And he's like,
Minneapolis?
yeah, I don't know. So she gets in and she's like showing us this tattoo. And turns out her dad is like the drummer.
No,
of,
he's the guitarist.
Oh yeah, the guitarist of Alice in Chains. Okay, so she's
Oh,
like
what?
20. She
She's
was like not
young.
even 21, I think. Like she was really young and she's so pretty, but she was fucking insane. Okay, she comes back into the story later, like really hard and really fast. So we go to Chili's. We're like, do you want to come? She's like, no, I'm gonna go sleep. I've been like up all night. And we're like, okay. So we didn't see her again until work later. So we're at Chili's. We're like hanging out, drinking, waiting to go to work because we didn't have to be there till like 11. Well, now they're telling us that Travis Scott, which is our performer that night,
Can't land.
Can't land his plane. It's too cold.
So
The private jets cannot
Yes.
land.
So we're like, okay, so are we working? So now we're like making plans to go
we're
out.
going out.
We're like, let's go out.
in Maplewood.
Yes. And at this point, all of the girls, like 99% of the girls had already left. They were like,
oh my gosh, they were like so fed up with the hotel. Well,
Yeah.
so Olivia and I were just calling it the crack hotel, and we were doing what were you calling it?
trap photo shoots.
We're doing trap photo
Trap photo
shoots.
shoots. Like I was like rolling blunts. I was rolling blunts and smoking them, ashing them on the floor. I'm like, take a picture. This is a trap photo shoot. And I was like, prop the window open with this window stick
she was
I
like,
found.
She's like, get the window stick and prop the window open. I was like, Olivia, that is the stick to open the blinds that has just been ripped off and thrown on the floor.
I thought it was like to keep the window closed so nobody breaks in.
Oh my
It is that bad. So
Yes.
we're making the best of it. Well, these girls are like,
They like were so done because they're like, they're used to a very like glamorous like trips and when they go out of these like to do these events like
But I mean, so are you guys.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
we're more
but
laid back.
we kind of enjoy.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was like
We
one of the
camp and
most
stuff.
Yeah, like we like to do weird stuff.
We
that
go to
people,
rednecks
like,
and paychecks.
Yeah, like stuff people would never like look at us and be like, oh, they would never do that. We're like, yeah, we loved it. Like we would go back.
So they've like now everyone's kind of like
They left after the
left
first
and
night, and
the-
especially because they were like, oh well, Travis Scott's not coming, so they just started going out. They're like, fuck it, we're not going to work.
Well, then some of them were like, we're gonna get an Airbnb. Remember?
Oh yeah, they're like, our regular is getting us an Airbnb.
Yeah, he's paying for
He's
it.
paying for it, and they're like, do you want to stay in it? And I'm like, by the time we get to the Airbnb, like we literally it was like
And we're
an
leaving the
hour
next
away, like, and we had to be at work. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna stay here. Like we're literally leaving the next day. They're like, pack up all their stuff, go to this Airbnb. There's no furniture in it.
No
not a single
mirrors, no
piece of
nothing.
furniture, no toilet paper, like nothing. It's just an empty house. So then they had to come all the way back and stay at the Emerald
Like,
Inn.
you have to remember, Cardi B, she had like
She had
rented
a
the whole hotel.
like downtown. And
P.
Minneapolis
Diddy.
is small. Like,
They
can't hold like a big event like that. Like it's just too big of a event for the city. Like there's too many people coming in.
and the celebrity athletes like in their camps they get
like 10, 20
you know
rooms.
they get the night they get floors of hotels, and so Minneapolis just wasn't ready, so that's why we kind of
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
You got that.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's why we
kinda
got
the
pushed
shit
out
and
there.
the
But
stick.
I mean, honestly, whatever. It was so funny. So we're like, okay. Well, I was like, well, let's just go to work because, like, what if they don't pay us for the night before? Like, like, oh, well, you didn't show up, and the girl's like, we don't care. I was like, let's just go. Like,
Well, what
okay,
else
we'll
we
just
gonna do?
drink. Like, who cares? Like, we'll just drink. She's like, okay. So we get there, and they're like, we're gonna have this local band.
I don't even know the name of it.
And we were calling it the local band. I don't know what the fuck it was called. But just to give you an idea of what the local band looked like, we went backstage because they put us in charge. Because there's only 4 of us now, okay? The girl that got the tattoo, me, Danielle, and this girl, Haley. Okay, so now it's just the 4 of us working. That's it. Everybody else is gone. So they're like, you two have to take care of the local band. And we're like, okay. So we go back. They introduce us. This guy has tattoos all over his body. Not a single inch is skin. And on his eyelids, is tattooed scum fuck. That's what his tattoo said.
They were actually really
They
good.
were so fun.
They were really
yeah, they were
good,
really
to be
good.
honest with y'all.
They were fun. So we're just like enjoying it. We're like, fuck it. We'll just drink. We'll hang out with the local band. Like, we really don't have to work. Like, who cares? So we're there all night. And like, so all of a sudden we look over and all of these like paramedics are rushing in. And we're like, what is going on? Like, people are really going hard for this local band. Well, turns out Tattoo Girl it took a bunch of Molly, overdosed, and had to get her stomach pumped. Then she was in the hospital all night, and she texts us. She goes, "Don't worry, guys, I'm fine. Getting on a jet to Vegas," and went to Vegas the next day
with somebody
she met like right before she took all the Molly.
Freshly pumped stomach.
Yeah.
Remember the other girl? The I don't even remember her name, which I wouldn't say her name anyways if I could remember. But she was like, "Oh no, I don't drink," and we're like, "Oh, okay, you're sober." She goes, "No, I just do cocaine and pills." And we were like,
"Okay, nice to know
Whoa,
that."
okay.
Thank you.
Wow,
Vitamins.
Yeah,
wow, that's
So-
extreme, sis.
So, but we ended up having a best time. We made some friends. I mean, we had a good time, and we got a free trip out of it.
And we made
So,
money.
We made money. We ended up making some pretty good money. So, and a good story out of it. Oh, and by the way, when Danielle went in to get into bed, we forgot this part. She went to get into bed the first night.
Yeah, the first night before Livy got there, I literally worked the night before in Dallas, flew out, landed, went to dinner with all these girls for like kind of a meet and greet, go straight to Marilyn Manson, rage my face off till like 5 o'clock in the morning with Marilyn Manson and his crew. And I finally go back to the room and I'm like, ugh, and I like go to reach under the pillow to kind of like fluff it.
Oh God. Oh God.
And I'm like,
Stop.
Yes.
why is it crunching?
What is
Oh my
it?
God. And so like I flipped the pillow over and it is literally dried semen.
Stop.
Nice.
I was like, no. And I have my arms and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like in the bathtub just scrubbing. I call Olivia. I'm like, oh, Olivia, there is dried semen under this pillow. I put my hand in it. So of course,
real question is, how do you know it's dry?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what that looks
You
like.
know
Right?
what it
It was
looks
either dried
like.
semen or
Milk.
ranch dressing.
Ranch dressing.
And I don't think they had that much rush dressing
and
at
so
the
then-
Domino's.
I call the front desk, right?
Bro.
And I'm like, can I get a sheet change? And he was like, we don't even have a housekeeper at night. She comes only one time. And he was like, I can give you sheets. And I'm unmaking and making my own bed
Oh my
At the crack
God.
at the crack motel, guys.
Take one for the team.
I
Oh my
honestly,
gosh.
I will never forget that weekend. That was so fun.
Okay, so fast forward to like, I don't know, 3 months ago.
Yeah, like a month ago.
Yeah. So
Right after like regular basketball season ended.
so my boss comes to me and goes,
or
hey,
like regular basketball season.
we have a celebrity coming in tonight, you know,
Is this at Candle?
Yeah, this is at Candle. It's a Wednesday night.
because he's gonna have the whole VIP with security, like only you and Olivia go back there and nobody, like no randoms. We're gonna keep the curtains closed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So I knew he was a big deal of some sort, but we really don't find out till right before they get there, just so people don't get crazy. So I'm like, okay. So I'm waiting and in comes really tall men.
And
so I'm like, oh.
I'm working and I'm busy, right? And so I don't really know what's going on. Like, and Danielle just runs up to me. out
And
of
so
nowhere.
they come in the back door. So it's like really tall guys. So I'm like, okay, they're basketball players, right? That's like, duh. So I'm like back there and I'm like, you know, whose credit card am I taking for the table? And they're like, oh, he's not here yet. I'm like, okay, you know, what's his name so I can look for him? His name is Jimmy. I'm
Oh,
like,
it's a Jimmy Buffett.
yeah, so I'm like,
no
okay.
way.
So in comes Jimmy Butler, and he's ordering, and he's having fun. It was
That's
one of his
hilarious.
teammates, one
Like
of his little teammates'
birthdays or
birthday,
something.
and the little teammate was so cute. They were just having fun, right? They're celebrating the birthday, just having fun.
Danielle comes running
And I come
up.
running up, and I'm like, Olivia,
You will
guess who's
never
back there?
guess. And I'm like, who?
And I'm like, Jimmy Butler. So then we go back there, and he was like, I see you brought your friend that thought I was the margarita man.
He was like, I remember you.
Yeah.
I don't bring my margarita machine. I was like, I didn't think you did.
That's amazing that he remembered
I
y'all
know.
too.
It's just he is
so
so
nice.
nice. Like he is one of my favorites. He's so nice. Please, thank you. Just low
Oh my God,
maintenance,
he was
super
It
nice.
was so funny.
Is
I'm
he
like,
Mavs or what does he play?
Ooh.
Oh, I
Ca-
don't
ca-
I don't know. What is Jimmy Butler? What
Jaxon
Where does he
Huffman.
play for?
Cavaliers?
Plays
No.
for the Heat, baby.
Oh.
the Heat. Plays for Miami.
Oh, that's
And-
right.
and
Because
right
all the
today,
heat was in there.
Yeah.
Right
That's
today,
right.
he is literally looking like the best player in the playoffs.
Well, maybe
Really?
I'll buy him a margarita machine for his
Yeah.
birthday.
He's truly
He's
the
so
nicest.
nice.
He's so nice.
So I want to know. Stars, Dallas Stars playoffs. What's going on? Anybody? Anything? Any gossip?
They're all
about this?
engaged.
Yeah.
They're all
What?
engaged.
They've
like
all settled
our
down.
girlfriend, like a girl, like that's in our group, kind of like she's like in
They're all so
the group
young.
of a group.
I
no, they're
know.
not that young.
Oh, really?
She just got engaged to Jamie Ben, and then Tyler Sagan just got engaged like last summer. So they're like doing wedding things.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
What about
So-
the goalie? Like everybody loves him. Otto or something.
When the hockey players come in, like it's pretty far and few between. They're pretty low key and then you don't really know. They don't really speak, and they
What?
don't like
We only know they're star hockey players because they order like a bottle
bucket
of
of
vodka
beer.
and 2,700 beers.
Yes.
That's how that's like they'll order
That's the
one bottle
telltale
just to get
sign.
the table, and then they'll order like, I'm not even kidding, like 65 beers.
Yeah, like a couple cases of beers.
and they just pound
That's
beer. I'm like, oh,
hilarious.
they're hockey, or they don't have a tooth. That's another one. We're like,
But
oh,
I
That's a
did.
telltale sign.
I did the other day. I have another funny story. The other day, I was coming home and I was at Lowe's. And first of all, I think all apartments should fucking change and provide light bulbs for your residents. Period. Point blank. I'm a full light bulb saga hate. I have a huge deal with my light bulbs. Okay, they're always going out, and I'm supposed to provide them, and I'm gonna go broke from buying these fucking light bulbs. So I go to Lowe's, buy some light bulbs, and on my way back, like we have a gym underneath Sanders Fit. It's like a pretty big like personal training gym. And I'm like driving up and I go, oh my God, there's so and so, and I won't say his name, but he's former Mav. And I was like, oh, he's back in town. So I was roll down my window and I was like, hey, I was like, are you going to the gym? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, when you're done, call me because I need you to help me with something. And he's like, okay. So I like an hour later, I get a phone call and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, can you come upstairs? I need you to help me with something. So I have this former Mav in my apartment changing all of my light bulbs. Then I go to turn them on and I go, fuck. I bought the wrong light bulbs. I'm like, unscrew all of them. So now he has to unscrew all of them. I'm talking like 15 light bulbs, but he's so tall. He's like 7'4". So I'm like, please do it. Like, I can't be up on my ladder. I can't reach it.
He lives in your building?
No, he was at the gym downstairs. And then I was like, yeah, I'm like, can you come up after? I need your help. And he's like, okay. So he comes up, he changes the light bulbs, unscrews them back so I can take them back to return them. And I go, one more thing. Can you help me? Can you carry my TV down to my car? Because I need to get it fixed and it's kind of heavy. So now I've got him carrying my TV and he's so big. It looks like he's just carrying this. Like he's like under his arm and he's got his light bulbs and now he's like walking through and everybody's just staring at me like, they're like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, don't mind us. And he just like puts it in my car. He's like, all right, bye. I'm like, thank you. I'll call you tomorrow to change my new light bulbs. He goes, all right.
That's so. I love him too.
He's so
great.
funny.
I was I waited on a soccer player not that long ago. I didn't recognize him, but one of the other girls was like, oh my God, that's so and so. He plays for FC Dallas. I'm like, and I had his credit card and his ID, so I could see his name, but he was born in like 1998, 99 or something.
They're so young.
So I didn't pay attention because I'm like, God, this kid is young. He was a really cute kid.
She's
though.
young too, so that's why she knew.
Yeah, she knew. She knew right off the bat. She was like an SMU girl, but he was cute. I love a good soccer guy.
Yeah, I actually
like
saw
my-
Danielle's new boyfriend when we were driving in here today. Sitting on the corner.
Wait, you have a new boyfriend? You have a new boyfriend?
No.
There's a
There's like a prisoner sitting on the corner, like covered in tattoos. Danielle's total type. Like, she loves that, like bald head, tattoo,
I love
white
that
t-shirt. I go, oh my God,
grungy,
Danielle, look, your new
tatted look.
boyfriend. And she's like, you never know. It could be the next Conor McGregor. I'm like, shut up.
I'm like, Olivia, you say that. That could be the next Conor McGregor.
like,
'cause
shut up.
His wife met him when he was a homeless person.
I remember when you were swooning over Trey.
Who?
Yeah, it's you
Trey.
with all the tattoos.
Oh,
She's like,
Trey
who's Trey?
Swafford on our show.
yeah.
Trey
He
Swafford.
is-
Who is that?
He's
Remember he
opening-
walked in, we're like, damn, who's that guy?
Oh, he had so many tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, what is he? Is he he's a wakeboarder.
No,
No,
he's
Trey-
opening a gallery DeFi.
He's like an
it's
artist.
Like a
They're artists.
20,000 square foot interactive
Why am I drawing
gallery.
an actual?
I'll
picture?
show you a picture.
Yeah, we'll show
Okay.
you a photo.
Yeah. So
Are you
that's-
single right now?
No.
Oh,
No,
never mind.
Never
I'm
single.
I'm not. And it's so funny because I'm dating a guy that's like, he's very, very pretty. Like he is.
What?
He is the typical like Ken doll. No tattoos, great hair, perfect
What?
teeth, like blue eyes. Yeah.
Here?
No, he doesn't even live here.
Ah.
Even better.
Where at?
He lives in
Even better.
Denver.
Denver.
Yeah. So I got my little Colorado
Worst
Ken.
airport in America.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. And now I'm there like every month. But yeah, I met him at a concert. It was so random. But my typical type is literally like the prison looking, tatted.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh,
vibe.
you want to pick him up, bring him to the show?
Yeah, and then this guy's. I'll show you guys a picture of him. He's super super cute.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, very sweet.
Wait, how about you live?
no, never.
Nothing.
Never.
God.
But we're gonna meet somebody for you.
We'll see. My husband's still married, probably.
How about you, Jackson?
What you want?
Are you dating?
I don't think that I'm doing any of that. I just kind of exist and things come to me.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
kind of
just kind of let go. Oh wow, this is interesting, and explore it and keep pushing.
yeah. I met
I've never had a challenge with that. It's just
I
I
met
don't
Blake
think you would.
organically.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, his name is Blake, but I met him super organically. I was not
Yeah.
looking, and it just kind of
it's just
came-
a vibe.
it was a total vibe.
At this stage of my life, it's definitely energy. It's like a
Yeah, it has to be energy
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
like a-
Mhm.
It's like a
Now we're not gonna air
we can
this,
build.
but